And we're back. What's going on, fellow co-creators? So again, kind of doing things a little bit different because I wanted you guys to be able to see the battle, see kind of what happens and takes place, because it is pretty beast, and we get to see kind of how the team interacts with their first real kind of big boss fight. And as we're kind of coming to the climactic end of this kind of first big mission of going through the labyrinth after Dracula's Soulstone as well. So as we kind of started off and with the battle kind of commencing, first off, most of everybody couldn't really do too much against Malice. Everyone was kind of trying to make some quick dash-in attacks and then run back away to give some distance between them and Malice, so that way she couldn't necessarily have advantage against them with any of her crazy beast attacks or just her, skills that she has set in play. And as they do so, again, no one really sticking, no one really making, too much damage against her. Luckily, Tarek was able to regain control from Abbadon and start helping in the battle. And as he did, he made a pretty crazy attack towards Malice and was actually able to deal some damage as he lunged his dagger directly into her shoulder. Unfortunately, nothing lasts forever, as you are about to see.
And as you kind of see this, you just kind of do a little somersault kind of backwards, leaving your knife just in her shoulder. And as you do, you kind of regain your stance, and she's still just, Malice's eyes locked into you. Make another intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence. So that is saving throw. So that's 15, 17.
And as she's looking right at you, you all of a sudden feel Abbadon come back into control, and you get pulled back into the back seat again.
17.
I know.
That's a strong muffle right here.
Abbadon is now in control, and you realize as you try to move again, the movement's not working, and you're back in this kind of soul temporal, realm within inside yourself. You all don't know this, that Abbadon has retaken over. You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen any craziness or anything quite happen yet, as he has just moved back and this has happened. And Hootie, you're standing right next to Malice, so you would definitely not know. And it'll then jump to Malice. And Hootie, she's definitely still with her eyes fixed onto you. She's going to raise her scimitar out from her hip, and she's just going to make a slash action trying to hit you, Hootie. Nat 20. Take 14 damage as she swipes with this scimitar. And just in one, swoop, like not even looking at Hootie, she just has that sense about her. And as she swipes you, Hootie, it is a clean cut right across your chest. And you just, as she hits, just kind of drop. You can't really even react to what just happened now. And as she then does that, she sees that Abbadon is now in kind of control. And she just slowly starts walking towards the rest of you. And she makes it about this far. It is then going to jump over to Kieran's turn.
As the battle commences, we have a couple more failed attempts from Kai to hit Malice, from Hootie himself saying that he is unconscious. However, he did succeed in his first death saving throw, so he will be back up. We just have to see if the guys are going to revive him or if he has to wait 3 rounds till he automatically revives. And then Kieran actually realized that the rune key is still in Abbadon's hand as he has now changed it over. So he made a dive action, miserably failed in that. And Behemoth then saw what he was going for, attempted the same kind of a thing. And as Behemoth made his check, succeeded and rolled very high, thus accounting for this to happen.
Just dive for his hand. And as you do, you're able to grab the rune and you kind of stumble and roll. You are prone because you're kind of, on your side now. But you have the rune key now in your hand, Behemoth.
Let's go.
Then, as the battle continued forward, the rest of the party went again for a couple more attacks with little to no success, and they still had to deal with Abbadon now in control over Tarek's body, which they definitely landed some mean, nasty blows against Tarek/Abbadon. And as they did as such, Tarek was actually able to regain his control over his body and his consciousness. And as he came back, he announced to stop hitting him as the rest of the crew who started just unleashing blows, trying to awaken him and get him back to his conscious state, which ironically did work. In the middle of battle, of course, as Malice was making her way towards them, once she saw that Tarek was back in control of his own body, she made a very crazy leap action toward him. Doing such resulted in this.
It is then going to go to Malice's turn, and as she sees what's going on, she is just going to jump over Behemoth right at you, Tarek. And as right before she hits you, and she has a dagger in her hand ready, yours is still on her shoulder. Right before she hits you, you just kind of wince in preparation. You feel nothing. As you open your eyes, there's just a puff of black smoke all around you. What would you guys like to do?
Breathe.
After taking a quick breath and realizing that they were safe for the moment, Tarek informed the party of the importance of this rune key and where it would potentially lead, as Malice explained to Abbadon, and Tarek was listening in kind of his, temporal prison inside of his own body. And as he explained this, they all started seeking out the rune key slot in this room potentially and started making some investigation checks. Meanwhile, Hootie and Kieran decided to go back to the ritualistic chamber that Hootie had kind of stumbled into. And Hootie's very curious about this chest that he found in that chamber, and he's looking for Kieran's help to kind of open this chest. He knows he has a lock-picking set, and he's hoping to make use of that, and they're hoping to find out what is in this chest. However, getting into this room and being in this room does make Hootie feel a bit woozy, and he realizes that for whatever reason, this ritualistic chamber is kind of having an effect on his character's health as he gets closer to the room. So Hootie explains he needs Kieran's help in getting and retrieving this locked box. Meanwhile, Behemoth and Kai and Tarek are searching for the key slot within the chamber that they have just fought Malice in, as they are looking for Dracula's Soulstone. Unfortunately for Kieran and for Hootie, they are about to find out what really happens in this ritualistic chamber and why Hootie should not have been dabbling in there or searching for chests in the first place.
If you're not feeling anything, maybe you can go around the corner and get this box. It's right around the corner.
Right, works for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna back up.
Okay, well, Hootie, you kind of back up, about here. It's kind of where you stop, kind of feeling that weird pulsing sensation. And Kieran, as you turn this corner now, you see this room with this weird inscription carved into the floor around this altar and these pillars with these chains hanging. And as you walk in, you hear, "This way, I have the treasure you seek." And this voice sounds like it's coming from a little bit deeper in the room. Now, as you walk into, you see this supposed chest that is right next to where he said it would be. What would you like to do?
Can I get a check on the intentions of this weird voice?
You can try to make see what, if it's nice or if it's bad.
Yeah, if it wants to show me.
Make an Arcana check.
16? Yeah, 16.
You feel like this voice is very similar to Malice's voice.
I'm gonna grab the box first.
Okay, you grab the box. Make a strength saving. Actually, make a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh.
18?
As you start trying to pick a lock, your fingertips are burning and you're going to roll lockpicking with disadvantage.
After getting frustrated with this stupid chest that Hootie had asked for Kieran's help with, Kieran decided to go back to whatever voice was calling him deeper into the room and see if he had better luck with that.
So I'm just going to ignore that for now, and can I go check the voice out?
You feel a little discouraged about this box that Hootie asked you to check out, and you even hear Hootie, what's going on in there, man? Did you find it?
It's kind of hot, dude.
Good response. And as you say that, you kind of start walking a little bit further into the room. How far into the room would you like to walk?
Snap. Maybe I'll stand just on the edge of this circle thing. I'm not gonna step into it, but
Just on the edge?
yeah, I
Kinda
don't
right
know what this is, bro.
And as you kind of come up to the edge of this circle symbol that's been carved into the floor, You're kind of looking at it and hearing it. Just a bit further. I promise I have everything you seek.
What is it? I don't even know everything you see.
Treasure. Soulstone.
Don't listen!
As you're kind of like just hurting and just kind of like feeling like I don't know what to do in this convulsion, this contradiction in your chest, you look up and you see over here almost just kind of like floating just kind of on the back wall. It looks to be, from what you can tell, kind of a blunderbuss style shotgun.
I'm gonna have to grab it.
You're gonna go try to grab it?
Don't be stupid, man.
I mean, technically I wouldn't, but I feel like Ken be like, this is too good an opportunity. So he's gonna.
Because he is a greedy.
Yeah, he's a little greedy.
Yeah,
As you see this, and honestly, grab 20 experience points for staying true to character. I'll give you that for sure. As Kieran sees this blunderbuss, he just feels this gleam of joy and he just lunges at it. And you make it about 2 steps before you realize you are frozen. And you look down and this whole circle symbol has started to glow a kind of amberish, kind of gold color. And it's starting to get brighter and brighter. You are physically trapped. And you look up and you don't see the blunderbuss anymore. You see nothing and you just hear the same sinister kind of chuckle, tee hee 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 hee. That right? It's so bad as a female chuckle. Like, I don't even know how a sinister female chuckle.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. And you are stuckies.
And after the bad decisions that Kieran made in the ritualistic chamber, we go back to the room where Behemoth, Terig, and Kai are searching for the rune key slot that they can then open to enter into the chamber where Dracula's Soulstone is being kept. And as they do some searching around, they're all checking all the walls, nooks and crannies, and everything they can. Kai finds the correct wall but rolls poorly. Behemoth tries the wall again and rolls magnificently, thus finding the key slot for the rune key and opening the door to this chamber.
And you guys see all of these stones starting to kind of collapse on each other and starting to kind of condense and starting to move around and starting to shift and literally become open. And as the different runes all kind of start shifting and start separating on each other, it literally opens up and this entire section of the wall completely removes.
As the party finally finds the Chamber of the Soulstone, Terig takes this opportunity to explain how Malice and Abbadon have been in cahoots this whole time. And Abbadon actually brought Terig's body here to be used in the ritual and to be Dracula's new vessel as he is resurrected. And that they got to put a stop to this. Realizing what must be done, they are then interrupted by Hootie, who has come to inform them that Kieran has made some bad decisions and he needs help in retrieving Kieran from the ritualistic chamber. The party then decides that Kai is going to go and help Hootie retrieve Kieran. Meanwhile, Behemoth and Abbadon are going to check out the Soulstone chamber.
Terig and Behemoth start making their way into this hidden chamber. And as you guys make your way into this room together, it opens up and it is a very high ceiling, about 20 feet high. I mean, going to kind of a centered peak. The room itself is a pretty big room, similar in size to the room you guys were just in. And in the center, raised up about 5 feet, is a stone platform with 2 golden pillars with all sorts of different symbols carved into them and different sort of symbolism kind of throughout the different pillars itself. And these pillars are golden in nature. Like, they are glowing, they are reflective, they are shimmery and shiny. And in the middle of them, there's another level of this stone platform that raises again about another 5 feet. So about 10 feet off the ground, the highest point here on this stone platform, there seems to be a statue, again, golden in nature. And it seems to make out the body of kind of a man going into the head of a jackal. And very ornate colors, very ornate headdress coming down this jackal's head, going over into his chest. And you see that this is definitely something or somebody that is pretty powerful or important. You both feel the weight of this room and just kind of this darkness kind of just settle on top of you both. And Terig, you assume that this statue is a statue of Anukus. the person that Malice had previously mentioned was the altar room that Dracula had been worshipping or had potentially made a pact with, as far as you kind of could tell from your and Abbadon's conversations with Malice. And in this statue, right in the chest, there is an ornate scarab beetle necklace. And right on the back of the scarab beetle, there is a jet black stone that seems to almost be kind of set in and yet floating kind of above the necklace itself. And it has this kind of shimmer of a kind of white aura kind of around it as it's kind of just sitting there in the chest and in the chest plate of this statue of Anukus. What would you guys like to do?
Let's go get that bad boy.
As Behemoth and Tarek witness everything within this chamber of Anukus, we jump back over to the rest of the group, which is stuck in the ritualistic chamber trying to save Kieran. And it's not going so well. He is stuck in the center circle, pretty much right before the altar, and the ritual seems to have been beginning as he is stuck in this kind of paralyzed state there. Hootie tried many different things trying to get Kieran out and actually ended up getting stuck in the center circle himself and being paralyzed as well. And then Kai, out of nowhere, the blind monk, rolled magnificently and tied his 50-foot rope into a beautiful noose and was able to lasso it around both of them, and in one swift motion yank and pull both Kieran and Hootie out of the center circle in the ritualistic chamber before the altar, thus stopping the ritual for time being, and them all kind of landing on top of each other in a dog pile sense of a manner. And as that happened, Behemoth and Tarek try to inquire on how to get the Soulstone out of this chest plate of the statue of Anukus. And once a couple things didn't work, Behemoth just got fed up with it and reached his hand into this center chest plate to grab the Soulstone out, and that actually worked. And with the Soulstone in hand, Behemoth found himself stuck in a very, very difficult battle of wits versus Dracula himself, and was literally caught in a trance. Tarek, witnessing everything that's going on, moved closer to Behemoth before he heard.
And as you climb the altar and you get closer to Behemoth, and you see to his gaze just fixed on this stone, he's fighting, as you can definitely see. He's like mentally just not trying to interact, but it is very, very hard for him. As that happens, you hear a slight chuckle, Tarek. I knew you would find it, Abbadon. All you needed was the time with your friends. And you turn and you see Malice has just appeared at the entrance into this secret hidden room. And with that, that is where we will end for tonight. All right, so as we now have kind of come to an end for this evening, we have Hootie, Kieran, and Kai stuck in the ritual room. And they have just successfully gotten Kieran and Hootie out of this symbolistic ritual rune symbol circle that has been carved out of the stone in this room between the two altars. And luckily, once you guys were pulled out from this inscribed circle, the altar started calming down and slowly started to become deactivated. And you guys definitely sighed a quick sigh of relief. At the same time, our heroes Tarek and Behemoth have found their way into the secret altar room and the altar of Anukus, where Dracula was presumably doing some backyard boogie bullshit with some demons and devils, and doing some things that definitely should not be doing at all. And as they enter into this room and they see these very golden obelisks and start checking out this statue of Anukus himself, Behemoth is able to grab the Soulstone of Dracula out of the center chest of Anubis's necklace. And once he grabs it, he's kind of stuck in a trance-fixated lock on this gemstone itself, on the Soulstone. And Tarek, going over to help him, right as he arrives with Behemoth, hears a slight chuckle of Malice, the female vampire from House Malastare. And she has just walked into the room and is about to try to wreck these guys and take this Soulstone. And that is where we will close for tonight. And thank you all for watching. This has been another awesome, exciting episode of Tales of Dordania. And we will expect to see you all again next week, where we can find out finally if the guys will have what it takes to destroy the Soulstone and escape the labyrinth with their lives. Thank you all so much for tuning in. God bless. Catch you on the next one.